From Dublin, Ireland, weighing 272 pounds, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus!
WWE Smackdown vs. Raw video game series has been going strong, dating all the way back to the original PlayStation. It's had more hits than misses over the years, and has usually done enough to satisfy those of us who like to watch athletes in tights fake fight. For fans like myself, this yearly franchise is the equivalent of a Madden game. So, is this year's iteration of Smackdown vs. Raw worth your hard-earned cash, or would it be better spent elsewhere? Graphically, Smackdown vs. Raw 2011 is quite impressive. Character models look like their real-life counterparts, and everything from entrance animations to a majority of the game's moves look crisp and brutal. Long hair could still use some work, but many of the clipping issues of the past have really been tightened up. The crowd looks alright, but you won't be concentrating on them often. Smackdown vs. Raw 2011 is a pretty game, and if you walk into a room during an entrance, you might actually mistake it for the real deal. As for the music, most wrestlers have their correct up-to-date themes. Sadly, Jim Ross is no longer a WWE commentator, and thus nowhere to be found in this year's game. THQ and Yukes have also opted not to have separate announce teams for SmackDown, Raw, or pay-per-views. So, you're stuck with Michael Cole, who seems to be phoning in his lines with lackluster effort, and Jerry the King Lawler. While the timing is good, the execution is poor. Thuds to the mat and an opponent crashing through a wooden table are pretty satisfying. Those Singapore cane and chair shots to the head sound a little weak.
Oh my God, what a sickening hook in the leg. 1, 2. Oh, talk about a timely save. This match isn't over yet. Something big. Oh, look at this. The unorthodox offense. And Cena drives him to the ground. Attitude adjustment. Into the cover, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus wins.
Wrestlers now have an assortment of yells and groans, but strangely enough, sometimes male wrestlers you're playing will have a diva's voice. It's a really strange glitch that we've encountered on more than one occasion. Voice acting in Road to WrestleMania mode varies from good to horrible, depending on who you're playing. Speaking of Road to WrestleMania, this mode is back. This year, you can choose to play as John Cena, Christian, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, or choose to go against The Undertaker using your own created superstar, or another character like John Morrison. The Road to WrestleMania mode certainly reflects WWE's kid-friendly product, and thus, stories are, for the most part, downright cheesy.
Just give him a minute. He'll be fine.
You're not helping, Jack.
Listen, you're going to be the one who needs an ambulance.
The mode suffers greatly because of its new backstage interface. You can wander around the backstage area and talk to other wrestlers, get into fights, and level up. But the camera is so close to your back that navigation is a pain.
Ray, you've got to come quickly. There's a fire. Ray, I'm so glad you're here. We need a fire extinguisher, quick.
Okay, calm down. Where's the extinguisher?
I don't know. I'm sure I've seen one around here somewhere. Oh, hurry, Ray. You've got to put it out.
As much as I've enjoyed Road to WrestleMania mode in the past, this year it just feels rushed and sloppy. Sadly, unless you want to pay for a pass to unlock all the extra content, going through this mode is the only way to do it, and it's a chore to play through.
Oh, thanks, Ray. I don't know what we would have done if you hadn't been here.
Dang, the hurricane was her beaten to the punch. Congratulations, citizen, for putting out that fire. He beat me here and got the girl? What's up with that?
What's up with that?
The newest mode addition to the game this year is the WWE Universe mode. The real premise behind this mode is to make you feel like what you're doing in the game is affecting the overall world within it. When turned on, WWE Universe mode will automatically create a show with a match card based on the rivalries and friendships that you have in place, which can be adjusted. Sometimes it inserts cutscenes before and after matches. The cutscenes that come into play are based off many factors, such as if you have a rivalry with an opponent or a title match coming up. It's an interesting concept that has some issues. First of all, I still cannot for the life of me figure out how to defend a title. Second of all, the cutscenes simply repeat all too often. I've been attacked from behind at least 10 times now.
Wait a second. What's going on here? What a sneaky attack.
Thankfully, the mode can be turned off if you get tired of it. Create a Wrestler mode is back and better than ever. It is without a doubt the best part of the game, with its vast array of options that can keep one busy for hours on end. What's more, you can create a wrestler, or anyone else for that matter, and upload them to use online. So say you want to play AJ Styles. All you have to do is jump online, look him up, find the one you like best, and download. Unlike last year, you can now adjust everything from downloadable characters' entrance music to their stats. Speaking of stats, you no longer have to grind to level up your character. Once you're finished creating your character, you decide their level. This is another very welcome change. SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 features a brand new physics engine that alters quite a few things. When a wrestler goes through a table, the area and force of impact will change the animation. The new engine also affects weapons, such as chairs. This makes for some pretty amazing looking situations, especially when playing TLC matches. Even still, some things could still use a bit of refining. Oftentimes there will be some weird glitches, like the sound of a wrestler climbing a ladder over and over again, even though they're not. Also, impacts through tables with certain moves just look goofy instead of impressive. The Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chamber matches have been tweaked and are much more fun to play. You can still throw your opponent off the cage or put him through the top of the cell, something we will not likely be seeing in this era of wrestling.
He almost took his head off with that lariat. Kane. Vintage Kane. Oh, Kane. Oh, my God. It broke. The cell roof is broken open, ladies and gentlemen, and with that fall, I'm not sure, but we may need to get the medics out here. One, two, three. Kane picks up the victory.
The highlight reel is back, as is the story designer mode. I mentioned downloading Superstars Online. As far as online matches go, they all seem to work well with minimal slowdown. Many players complained of lag last year, and THQ has gone on record saying that they have gone to great lengths to fix the problem. All the matches we played ran pretty smooth, though it will be interesting to see how the game handles things when servers get more crowded and there are TLC matches abound. There's already some in-game slowdown every now and then, and seeing how the game fares when being bogged down with a multitude of connections and people playing multiple wrestlers will be interesting, no doubt.
You'll find updates and blogs from all your favorite superstars. What a shot. Look at the force behind that leg drop. There's a drop kick.
Create a Finisher mode has returned this year as well. This time around, you can set up a finisher from a variety of front positions, the top rope, or with the opponent placed on the top rope. Like last year, there are some pretty amazing combinations you can come up with. If the finishing move isn't already in the game, odds are you can make it, or at least something relatively close. Some of the animations in this mode could be better, particularly standing grapples, but it gets the job done. The gameplay in SmackDown vs. Raw has always been the most important element. It's evolved a lot over the years, sometimes for the better, and sometimes, not so much. This year it really feels like the series has taken 2 steps back. You have your standard array of punches and kicks to choose from, but there are many moves that have been removed from this year, making the variety of options feel meager. The grappling system has actually reverted, feeling more like a system from 4 or 5 years ago. You have 4 different weak grapples, each of which allow you to do 4 moves. To do strong grapples, you have to pick your opponent up off the ground and hit one of 4 directions. To me at least, this system feels much more limited than SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, and my guess is that it's been intentionally dumbed down to make it more pick up and play for kids. It's horribly disappointing considering that I felt the gameplay was really at its peak in last year's game. I have mixed feelings about SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. In my view, it simply doesn't measure up to SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. However, it's not a bad game. It just has a lot of flaws that, when combined, mar the overall package. Still, the vast amount of content is impressive and will keep both fans of sports entertainment and pro wrestling busy for hours upon hours. In the end, if you're perfectly content with SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 and don't feel the need to upgrade, then don't. But if you're like me and typically look forward to buying THQ and Yukes new offerings every year, I would suggest giving this one a rental first.
Here is your winner, and the new United States Champion, Eddie Bull.